Presiding Judge Selena Solis of the 243rd District Court in El Paso County, Texas, has had her judgment reversed. In a scathing decision, the 8th Court of Appeals for the Western District of Texas held that the lack of evidence in the case brought forth by accused pedophiles Leith Labrado and Labo Labrado against their victim's mother, and the victim lacked any legal evidence or even a suspicion that evidence existed to have brought forth such a claim. The level at which Judge Selena Solis understands the law is so lacking of any legal merit or a claim that with her delusion of superiority allowed a frivolous lawsuit to be heard before her court and taken to trial. In other words, the lawsuit brought forth by accused pedophiles Leith Labrado and Labo Labrado lacked any evidence and was simply frivolous. Or to put it in Sammy C words,
it was all a lie.
Concocted by accused pedophiles Leith Labrado and Labo Labrado in an attempt to avoid jail, and Judge Selena Solis helped them the entire way. The following is corroborated by court records, court filings, witness testimony, investigative reports, and statements made by sitting and retired judges, as well as practicing El Paso attorneys. During the entire legal proceeding, from initial appearance to the jury's decision, Judge Selena Solis's contemptuous behavior, erroneous understanding of legal application, and the absence of any decorum was on full display as she sat upon her high chair and mocked, laughed, and yelled in open court at the victim's attorney, the victim's mother, and the victim. During the entire abusive and victim-shaming ordeal at the hands of Judge Selena Solis, she did have a moment of clarity when she laughingly mocked the victim's mother and the victim and stated out loud with a giggle in her throat,
"I don't understand this case, so just let them overturn me on appeal. I don't care."
Thankfully for the victim and the victim's mother, justice was finally served through the 8th Court of Appeals in the Western District of Texas. The 8th Court of Appeals stated the following: the court has considered this cause on the record and concluded there was error in the judgment. We therefore reverse the judgment of the court and render judgment that appellees Leith Labrado and Labo Labrado take nothing. Further, the court held, we conclude the testimony offered by Leith Labrado and Labo Labrado to prove a vital fact that the mother of the victim lied is so weak as to do no more than create a mere surmise or suspicion of its existence. The evidence is no more than a scintilla, and in legal effect is no evidence. Lastly, the court goes on to admit and point out that 3 separate valid reports of sexual abuse at the hands of Leith and Labo Labrado were made by the victim's uncle, grandmother, and the court-appointed therapist, who also filed a complaint with the FBI as the victim stated that they saw naked pictures of themselves on Leith and Labo's office computer. The questions that beg to be asked are, why did Judge Selena Solis allow attorney Laura Enriquez and attorney Troy C. Brown to bring forth a frivolous case lacking any evidence and see it all the way through to final judgment? Why did Judge Selena Solis continuously go off the record and have to be forced back on the record through heated exchanges with the mother's attorney? Why did Judge Selena Solis continuously state on the record that she did not understand this case, and yet she allowed attorney Laura Enriquez to proceed? Through witness statements and having read the record, what we can conclude is that throughout the entire legal proceeding, Judge Selena Solis was neither intelligent enough nor legally capable of understanding what was going on, and openly admitted that attorney Laura Enriquez was much more capable of running her court than she ever was, and effectively gave Laura Enriquez the reins. What Judge Selena Solis was not aware of was that attorney Laura Enriquez was also ethically compromised and a liar. As the 8th Court of Appeals held that no legal conclusion could be made that the evidence of the claims brought forth by accused pedophiles Leith and Labo Labrado ever existed. This would have immediately been apparent to even the most simple-minded attorney in El Paso, Texas. However, for a corrupt and criminally minded attorney like Laura Enriquez, the task was easy. Attorney Laura Enriquez knew that she could lie, create facts, and ignore actual factual evidence, knowing the Judge Selena Solis would simply look the other way for her friend. This fact was never more evident than when attorney Laura Enriquez and Judge Selena Solis ignored the testimony of two witnesses on the stand. First, the Texas CPS investigator who testified that his official CPS report had been changed and modified, and what was in the report was not what he had written and did not match the report he had. Second, the testimony of the victim's uncle, a former federal agent and lawyer, also stated that his statements made to the CPS investigator had been changed in the Texas CPS report and did not match the report he had. A report that had been entered into evidence and put into the record by attorney Laura Enriquez as factual and true, and yet Judge Selena Solis ignored the testimony that the CPS investigative report had been doctored, was not accurate and true, and simply proceeded forth, all in hopes of helping two accused pedophiles get vengeance upon the victim and the victim's mother for simply protecting her child. The question that begs to be asked is, did attorney Laura Enriquez falsify evidence, and did she modify a government document to aid her clients and protect two accused pedophiles? In our continued investigation into this lawsuit, what we have found is that Judge Selena Solis and El Paso attorney Laura Enriquez are social friends, which was never divulged for the record. Second, we have found that attorney Laura Enriquez has continuously given financial support to all of Judge Selena Solis's election campaigns. Judge Selena Solis is a classist who looks down her nose at the great citizens of El Paso, Texas. This fact is never more supported than Judge Selena Solis's on-record statement during this trial.
Isn't it a shame that the citizens of El Paso don't know how to behave and act in court?
What we can see for a fact is that Judge Selena Solis is an elitist and arrogant elected official who, through her own words, behavior, and actions, believes herself to be better than the citizens of El Paso and is not concerned with how she is perceived, nor how she treats El Pasoans. Judge Selena Solis serves at the pleasure of the citizens of El Paso, and it is time that she goes back to Austin, Texas. The consequences of Judge Selena Solis's weak legal mind and unethical behavior can be immediately seen. Judge Selena Solis allowed two accused pedophiles to sue the mother of one of their victims in a frivolous lawsuit, which in turn only served to empower the sexual predators. As of the reporting of this video, accused pedophile Labo Labrado has again filed a frivolous lawsuit with the help of attorney Troy C. Brown against the mother of one of his sexual abuse victims. Even more disgusting and disturbing, the accused sexual predator, Labo Labrado, has filed for paternal rights of the victim, a child that is not even his. This is all thanks to the failure of Judge Selena Solis. The unethical and corrupt attorney Laura Enriquez, a completely unknown and extremely ineffective attorney, has somehow found herself sitting upon a bench in U.S. federal court. We here at the Sammy C Show will continue our investigation into Laura Enriquez's actions. We factually know how far she is willing to go to win a case, and an unethical and corrupt mind like that does not change. She will continue her unethical and corrupt behavior on the bench, and the Sammy C Show will be there to report the truth. All for one simple reason: to protect the citizens of El Paso, Texas, against Judge Laura Enriquez. We here at the Sammy C Show hope that the family of the victim and the victim's mother immediately file a lawsuit against Laura Enriquez and Troy C. Brown for the filing of a frivolous claim, civil collusion, retaliation, and legal malpractice. The victim and the victim's mothers should immediately file a judicial ethics complaint against Judge Selena Solis, citing her behavior, courtroom demeanor, and unethical behavior during the entire legal proceeding. The victim and the victim's mother should immediately file a bar complaint against attorney Laura Enriquez and attorney Troy C. Brown for the filing of a claim they both knew was frivolous. Lastly, the victim and the victim's mother should immediately file a complaint and notice of action with the United States federal courts, informing them of Judge Laura Enriquez's unethical behavior and comfort with false truths, and her comfort with court filings which lack any evidence or legal standing. Attorney Laura Enriquez's comfort with lying and the submission of frivolous claims which lack any legal evidence goes towards her character fitness and will affect her security clearance. No liar should ever sit upon any bench and judge its citizens as to their truth.
The Sammy C Show, a citizen journalist and judicial activist.